we back earlier than I wanted. Planning to do all this Sunday or Saturday rather, but Mother Nature has different plans. It's supposed to be pretty cold or cool on Sunday, and then Saturday is supposed to be thunderstorms. So clearly that's not conducive to, I forgot my gloves, conducive to doing inspections, especially thunderstorms. Well, either. So we're going to hop in here real quick. This is one of the New Queen hives that I got from Honey and Bee Co. company or connection or whatever they are. And then Moorhead. And then 2 of those. And then obviously the 2 Demarees. Here I'm just going to check. Hopefully see eggs. It's been 5 days? 6 days. 5 days. So maybe a little earlier than I wanted. But again, Mother Nature is going to Mother Nature. So here we are. Well, smoke these gals because I'm worried they might be a little hot, especially if they haven't taken new mama. They haven't taken. Oh shit! Hate when the smoke goes the opposite direction I want it to, and my smoker dies before I get started. All right, so let's get this off and actually out of the way because it's the feeder. Well, set it over here. Girls, you're gonna hang out on this spot for a bit. They probably built burr comb there, but that's okay. Jesus, burr comb central. They took all that damn feed and turned it into burr comb. That's wild. They are not moving that much for the smoke. They're lapping up all that burr comb scissor. That's weird. Alright, let's get all this out of the way. Man, I did not expect to have this much stuff here. I would have brought a little bucket or something. Girls, you're just going to have to move because you're in the way. Dadgummit. Wish they hadn't done that. Just a waste of syrup and resources, but and now I'm going to have a tool that's crazy sticky. Wonder why it's so... Well, here's what it is. Get out of the way. Yeah. Perfect. Get out of the way. All right. So let me see if I can get a rag in here because that's going to be gross. Need to make sure I keep a rag in there of some sort. All right, we'll go through this quickly. Can't remember. I forgot to look at the video to see if these were drawn out because they are. Yeah, they would have been. I wasn't going to put. Oh well, we'll see when I get it on the bottom. These are all bulbed out with looks like resources. My only concern is that the frames in the bottom were all fucking sticky as hell. Frames in the bottom were all new deeps undrawn, so they should be working on that, which is annoying because I'm hoping they'd take some of that and make it down there, not up here where it's annoying and in the way. This is on the struggle bus today. It's like I had great smoke billowing and then I start inspections. It's like coughs and dies. I'm going to try some wood pellets at some point. I see the, I forgot his name, but it's like 14-day beekeeper, the guy that came to Nobby, the British guy. And so I'm using wood pellets. I like that idea. Probably burn longer. All right, now my tool that's probably still saturated, but at least, actually, I tell you what, I got no more tools. Let's just do that. Sling it everywhere. All right, let's get some frames out of the way. Look through this real quick. This looks like it's all, maybe some brood up here. But, oh, that weighs 4 tons. Good Lord. So that's all resources. It's literally dripping out because it's, man alive. Okay, there's some resources here, so I gotta be careful. Make sure they're backfilling with scissor. I may have to put, well, we'll see how the bottom box is. I may just go down there real quickly and see. This is all probably old brood that just from the old queen that hasn't hatched out yet, because they're backfilling all of it. I say that. Did I see? No, that's all. Yeah, this is all backfilled. So let me scoot this out of the way. Good thing is this hive is going to explode with bees for too long, because those are all those are going to hatch. Yeah, backfill. I'll have to put a, well, I say I'll have to, but that bottom box is hopefully not completely drawn out. It's annoying that they stored all that instead of using it to draw a comb on the bottom, because there's no, yeah, there's no new larva up here, or new brood up here. It's all the old stuff from the split. Yep. I haven't checked for queen cells, but I mean, can't imagine seeing any. All right, we're just gonna put all that back. Get to that bottom box real quick. And, oh, man, it's so heavy. And then, yeah. So if she's laying, that's where my eggs will be, because they've backfilled all this with shit. Jackasses. Damn it. Put grass in the end of it to help kind of do a cooler smoke. I don't know if that's just, maybe just put too much in there and it's clogging it up. Alright. Move faster. Also, obviously, you just got to get the queen cage out of here. Hopefully, the queen's out, and they haven't killed her, but we'll see. Oh, they are humming. All right, it stayed. It didn't fall out on the box, so that's good. I was worried about that because my little screws setup wasn't great. All right, so let's get the frame out of the way, and then we'll. Yep, coming at me. Let's get this frame out of the way. Also want to see what frames. You jerks, you're not drawing out anything. And you're backfilling the top. I may pull some of those resources I got up there just to give them room. Because alright, let's just leave that one back in the house. Oh, there's a frame or two drawn out. I mean, they're obviously starting in the middle and working way out, but let's see more action. Let's see here. This has got drawn on it. Oh, is that larva or is that just shit ton of wax? It's hard to tell. I waxed the piss out of these in a couple spots. Oh, that's resources. Drones. I need to be able to see eggs, you jerks. I can't see any there, so I'll just keep going. Here's where we're going to make sure I can get the queen cage without dropping it. She's out. I mean, it's empty. So that's a good sign. Just make sure one of those isn't her. There's still one attendant in there, which is weird. All right, so she's out, which is good. They released her. That's one I had to go back in because I forgot to take the damn cork out of the bottom, which was really annoying. All right, let's see here. She's released. They just may not have enough drawn out here that she's actually laying, which is, should have put a couple drawing frames in here from another hive, if nothing else, but here we are. I'm going to pull that feeder off because they're just using it to backfill like mad. I don't have the shit I need to, well, I can put that on, put the queen excluder on and come back. All right, that one's drawing quite a bit more, so let's check that one. Hopefully there's eggs on that. Nothing else, I'm going to just have to wait, let them draw it some more and then go from there, but Probably have to come back into this one soonish. And man, can you put an egg somewhere, lady? I'm just seeing resources galore, but I don't see any. Oh, maybe. All right. Damn it, I hate when I can't see. I'm not even trying to find her. I'm just trying to find... Oh, those look like eggs. Yes, pretty sure those are eggs. All right. Those have got to be eggs. Really new eggs, which, I mean, it's not a shocker. She's only been in there 5 days, and the frames are mostly undrawn. That's a lesson learned. I should have given them some drawn frames. I thought they would use some of the top, but they didn't. They just filled it up. All right, so I saw eggs. That's all I need to see. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. I was going to say pull some of those frames. Most of those up top were brood, not resource, so don't know if that'll do me a lot of good to do that. So we'll just put them back together. Reasonably certain we have a queen. I'll stop feeding them for sure, because they'll draw those. When those other eggs hatch, they'll have a ton of spot where she can lay in that second box, and then they'll just have to nectar it up to get their stuff drawn out. So, all right, this back together. I do need to put this traps back in because I forgot to stick the ones in the bottom last time. Yep. Baby. So, saw eggs. Good. Damn it. Jerks. Alright. Yeah. Got to wax this thing and I can't get it flush. Let's see if this one will sit better. There we go. Alright. No scratch. So, saw eggs. I mean, they're drawing out, just not crazy fast. Worried if I put the feeder back on, they're just going to keep using that to put shit in. So, but they're also not going to, it's going to be cold for a couple of days, so we'll put the feeder back on. That way I don't have to go inside and get a bunch of different gear. Yeah, we'll just put the feeder back on, let them do that, because that'll, yeah. And then sometime next week I'll come back out and do a sooner than I probably would normally inspection in order to get come on, get back in the hive, get that back off. So, all right, don't stick me in my fingers, please. Man, that's so heavy. That weighs an absolute ton. All right, look out, dummies. Damn it. Here's the part I hate. Like, it's like there's no way to not squeeze them because they won't move. I have found sliding, like in an angle and sliding, at least reduces the number versus just straight up dropping it down. But like, I still smashed some bees on the backside here. All right, feeder back on. Actually, you know what? I've got inter frames right here. There's an empty. I'll steal this. One of these frames that's just straight up pure resources, which I think this first one was and the other one was. I'll steal those for. I've got a box that I was going to use to put on maybe the other one that has the queen because they are probably farther along. Get off. But I mean, it'll be obvious that one's that way. Give them a little bit more space. Maybe they'll take that. I might do it with the other one too. Let's see. This last one, get off. This last one is just resources. Man, this last one is stuck. Oh! Yep. Oh, it's so pretty though. Look at that. Oh, it's got brood on it. So I can't pull that. It's drones, but I still want to pull it. It's weird that they put drones on the outside, or if I flipped, I might have flipped that one. Oh, that's not good. What is that? Those queen cells? Here's the part where I should have went all the way over. Oh no. Cap queen cells galore. What? But really weird ones that don't make any sense. Did I just miss those last time? Well, those look awful, so we're just gonna cut them out and hope, because I saw stuff down there. So that is weird. I had to have just missed that last time. Maybe because it wasn't on the bottom. I've never seen them like that, just in a weird group. All right. Let's, well, now I can freaking pull this frame and give them space, because obviously they're not going to use that for that drone brood I just smashed the dog shit out of. Crap. Bizarre. All right, empty frame over here. That's weird. I've never seen. That looks like it may be more on the other side. Did I miss those? Or did they do that after they were queenless, but before I got a queen in there? Those are drone. Drone. That's weird. Yeah, I should have went it frame by frame, but now I'm skipping and I'm maybe missing stuff. There's another one that was, oh, that one was torn out. I wonder if they made some and then tore them out because I'm like, no, we got a queen now. They definitely didn't tear out the other one, but they were weird little stubby ones that didn't look like were much worse. Which frame did I just pull saying I could? Wait, was that last one? Did I put the wrong frame back in there? No, that's got drone. That's got brood all over it. So this one, oh, that's still got bees on it. I didn't shake that off. So this was the one that was wonky. So I'll pull that one. I've already pulled this other one, so I need 2 empty frames. All right. Confusticated myself. I don't know where that one went. I think it was a far wall, maybe? Yeah, it was a far wall. So let's do this checkerboarding. You can checkerboard with brood if you do, what, 2 frames of brood, and then, so that'll help really slow them down. So we'll leave that one against the wall. Stick this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I only got 1 frame left to put in here. Right? So we'll stick this resource frame in the middle. Well, no, then I'm risking. It's going to be cold. Well, that's cat brood, though. Think, Doug. What do you want to do here? All right. I don't want to lose all this brood. Hopefully a lot of this will go before that cold spell hits. That was on the end. I don't want to stick it right in the middle. Let's do this. Let's put that one on the very end. This one over here. And then like worst case, I'll lose that drone brood. I'm not worried about that. They put it on that last frame anyway, so that was poor planning on their part anyway. All right. Man, that was weird. I've never seen that. Hopefully that's not a bad sign, but, or I guess it queen could have hatched. Well, no, that they were all capped. So say queen could have capped and they fought it out, but I think what may have happened is they made those, or I missed them in the interim. I'd be surprised. I may have just missed them when I did that first thing. Then they decided not to do anything with them, but they haven't torn them down, so that's a little weird. All right, let's get this back together. Trap. Where's my trap? Where's my trap? Where's my trap? Where's my trap? It's probably the one that had wax on it, and I've already set it down somewhere. There it is. Yeah, let's get a different one. I don't like that. Looks not clean. Haven't seen really many small hive beetles in there, but also wasn't looking all that much. Man, this, get your hand sticking, it's just over. Every effing thing becomes sticky. All right. Those are tight as they're going to be. Take these off. feeder back on for now. They do need the juice to draw out some of those frames to the bottom. Hopefully they'll do that instead of just filling the shit up. Almost, well, flipping the boxes is stressing this queen out too much. All right, there's shit everywhere. But we found eggs. We also found swarm cells, which is weird. So I'm not sure what happened there. God damn it. The whole fucking hive again. Alright. Ruby, stop. There's no way I don't get stung today. Ruby, stop. Alright, let's call that a day on that. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. Alright, so on this one, I had to go wash off the tools because they were covered in honey. This one, probably just gonna, I think I'm gonna stay, I'm not getting all the way down the bottom box. It's risky because it could swarm maybe from that, but should be swarm cells up here. Should be, because they think they've split, because this is the one I did the Demaree on. We'll see. Time to play peekaboo. Oh, some bees up here, not a ton. I'll see how much they thought they split. But, I mean, there's a queen excluder and 2 supers between mama and the rest of them, hopefully, because that's the other concern, is if there's eggs up here, I screwed up and didn't get mama out, because this is the one where I had to do the shakedown to get, I mean, I didn't have to, but also suck at finding queens, so that was the smart move. All right, let's this over here, frame rest. Again, I should, even though I popped off all of them that were on here before, I should probably seen queen cells here. I just got to scrape them off and keep doing that for a couple weeks until the flow's ripping and they are no longer want that. So no swarm cells. They're backfilling with nectar, so that's good. All the way up here, which is awesome, unless it was just an older frame. It's possible. No, they're drawing those out, so that's good. Some of these were undrawn, or at least only partially drawn. I don't know why I freed up that much space. So let's see. Here's where we really got to start. Actually, check that last one. Once we start getting to where we have fuller frames with brood, we really got to start checking for swarmies. There's one. That one looks older, though. I may have just missed it last time. There's something in it. I don't know if it was charged or if I just got nectar or something. All right, there's a larva here, which, I mean, that's fine. Larvas, right? Eggs 3 to, yeah. Eggs 1 to 3, larva 3 to 9. So those could have been eggs when I initially did it. So there shouldn't be a ton. I see some queen cells on the next one, which is what I expected to see. There we go. Reasonably certain I got them all last time, but these could be from last time. I don't think so, because I tried to make sure I went through well on that. Shook off all the bees and then went through them. So biggest thing here I'm looking for is making sure, well, 2 things. No eggs, hopefully. Let's get over here in the sun. No eggs, and get rid of queen cells if I see them. There's still plenty of brood up here, but that was kind of the point, to draw them up here. Yeah, more queen cells on the next one. Oh, yep, tons more. Go through this. Look out. Gone. These look like new draws and on the older comb, so. But these have got to go so that they don't swarm. Oh, there's a cap queen cell. Son of a bitch. Well, that's not great. Well, I'll tell you what we might try. Piss. It's a little stubby one, though. Well, man, I hate that. Tell you what we'll do is these jerks. That's a tiny little queen cell. It's probably not worth keeping. I mean, worst case, I think I'd probably be better off go buying a queen than keeping that, because it was just really small. That's just clearly a cell I missed last time, and they capped it fast. Emergency cell from last time that they then turned into emergency queen. I don't know how this would, if your top box would swarm in a Demaree, or, well, they don't have the queen, so how the hell would they swarm? No, they'd have to hatch first, unless the queen's up here, which I screwed up. But definitely gonna blow across the frames more to make sure no more emergency cells up here. That was wild. Never seen an emergencies. Well, I mean, it's never done this before, but that I did not expect. And I see more of them, and that one looks capped too. Jesus, that's almost. You can see that one's there. That's really close. It looks like all the brood is backfilled. It's not, well, it's all larvae, or the cells are backfilled with brood. So that's a good sign. But man, that one was close to being capped. Really close. And that one was much bigger, so it would have been a decent queen. One of the things I've thought about doing is if I actually find a good looking queen cell, capped queen cell up here, which I don't necessarily want to, is that I would take it. Oh, that one almost looks like they tore it out themselves, unless I just did that. I would take it, throwing it in a nuke box, and see what happens. Because that's what I want a resource hive at some point just to play with. But also, this being the first Demaree, I want to get that down first before I start getting cute with 14 different management techniques at once. I'm already doing splits and Demarees and new out yard and everything else, so comes a point where I'm doing too much too fast. So, whoa. All right, let's see what we got here. This looks like a half-ass queen cell. We'll tear it out anyway. Take some of that drone brood with it. Actually, uncap some of that drone brood. Let's see. Older larva, looks like. Or is that bee bread? Looks like older larva, which is what I expect to see. Some of that looks new. Let's see. Well, yeah, we're in that range where I could still screw up. But, oh, there's more emergency cells. Man, those are hard to see. I'm going to have to go back through this better. Again, those are really hard to see, emergency cells. So they really think, I mean, it works in that they think they swarmed, that's for sure, because they are emergency and queen celling the shit out of this thing. Let me pop one of those, a couple of those drone brood, just to see if I can see if there's any mites or anything. That's where we're going to see them. Whoa, that was gross. That was mostly ready to go. Yeah, that's too gooey to see. All right. Got the emergencies off of that one. Yeah, I'm gonna make a second pass through these just to be safe, because that was a lot. One cap queen cell, several almost, and a bunch of emergencies. All right, so that back in there. I'm just gonna pop everything and give it a quick cheek. Making a mess here and making bees mad, but if they wouldn't swarm, we wouldn't have this problem. All right. Bruh. You do not be blowing on them, but I do not like emergency cells, so get over it. It does sound like there's quite a few bees in the box below. I mean, some of that's obviously them just going down to get away from me, but this has a ton of middle-aged larvae. I don't think I see any eggs, but yeah, I suck at seeing eggs so badly. It's my smashed queen. There's one. That's probably drone, but we'll smash it anyway. Smash that emergency. Smash the shit out of it. That's Probably drone, but let's just be safe. There's definitely a couple emergencies. They'll probably draw them right back exactly where I've scraped them off because, well, there's wax dangling there, but all right. Pop this second box off just to see what they've drawn out because I think I had a couple bait frames in there, so I want to make sure they didn't draw. They aren't putting queen cubs down there. I wouldn't think they would, but since there was no brood on those frames, but I do want to check because it's already been surprise on this one. Yep. Yep. We're going to slide that one over more towards the middle. See if we can get that. Well, that's got brood on it. Don't want to do that. Slide it there. And this one on the end. Larvae, please stop. Yeah, that was good. All right, we'll pop this off. Look in there and see what we can see. Hopefully there's not, I mean, there's, knock on wood, there shouldn't be any swarm cells there because most of them were fresh frames, but there might be one or two where they decided to draw out a shit ton of bees. Man, that's wild. There's still that many bees and this far down. Yeah, we'll definitely need to go through this box at least, maybe the next one. At some point I'm around at daylight, but that's inspecting in the dark. That sounds awesome. Obviously nothing there. I think it pulls me frames this time. Nothing there. Most of these were undrawn. Again, I had one or two partially drawn frames, so those are my concern because that's obviously where they could draw out some comb and make emergency cells. They're not yet, but let's make sure. Yep, good on that. Good. Blowing on them a bunch, which they hate, but also, I mean, you're gonna move them out of the way so don't smash them. Yep, just drawing out that. Here's another one that was a bait frame. No. I don't see any swarm cells there. Yep. Alright, let's slide. We're not going to pull that one. There's no point. Or that one. Actually, pull that one because it's got enough drawn that could have done something. Nope. Alright, and yeah, that didn't have enough on it for it to matter. I'm going to peek in the next box. I can't imagine. Well, wait. The next box is where the... Yeah, they could have some on the next box, maybe. No. Shouldn't. I'm going to check anyway, because I'm nervous after finding all those cells. Not just cells, but one capped that was pitiful. That would have been an awful queen. She'd have been tiny. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Or it's probably not what they wanted either. All right, girls. I'm sure my smoker's gone out because I haven't done anything with it. Not quite, but mostly. Yeah, let's do it. All right. Oh, I can't remember. These, the queen's right below, so they shouldn't be putting anything on. That said, everything's worth a double check because this is my first time doing this. I do not want to get it wrong and fake swarm them and have them real swarm on me. Look out. That was not drawn out, so I'm not worried about that. These look like just resource frames, which they should be. Oh, it's heavy as hell. Nothing on the bottom. Nothing on the bottom. Yeah, I'm definitely not going in the bottom box, I don't think, because at this point I've been in here forever. I feel like it's almost necessary for first time or two, just because if you screw it up, you lose them. But there comes the point of, yeah. All right, let's see here. There's a slide. Probably could have just did the box tilt on these, but I didn't, so here we are. It's weird, they aren't really getting out of my way as much as they normally seem to, but I'm going to get stuck in my fingers. Alright. Check that last one because it's somewhat drawn out. Shouldn't be anything there because they would have had to take an egg, they would have had to pull an egg from up above, or a larva from up above and draw it down. But I'm going to double check because I don't trust these bitches. Alright, so we'll call that a day on this hive just because I've been in it forever already as it is. And, I mean, my only concern is that there's swarm cells in the bottom, but man, yeah, maybe I will check real quick. I don't want to risk losing. This is my first time doing this. Not ideal by any means, but got to figure it out. Damn it. I've got it. I don't know why it didn't work this time. That grass may be screwing everything up. Stop after this hive and make sure I get the smoker actually rolling. Alright, gals, we're going to smoke you a little bit because I need you to fuck out of my way. You're not liking that. Maybe too hot. I don't feel it. Alright. Mama's down here. Let's see if we can... She's got to... Well, I say she's got to be down here. I did the shakedown so she didn't have to be anywhere, but she should be down here. Do the twisty twisty. Well, I've already done that. So. Alright. So we'll take... Just going to take a peek at towards the middle and see if I make sure I don't have swarm cells. Once that's done, we'll just call it a day because these gals are getting hot. They are not liking me, and I don't blame them. They're drawing that out well, so that's good. Make sure I don't see... Well, I'm not marked. She's not marked, and I've clearly established that I suck at finding them when they're not. And hop to... frame towards the middle where there should be brood. Yeah, see brood on that one or the next one. Well, that's all hatched. That's all. Let's keep going because that didn't have what I expected on it. It's weird. Yeah. Alright, tons of brood here. And we're just going to check. I'm basically just checking for queen cells to make sure they're not. There's tons of space down here, so I don't think a lot of those have hatched. So she's probably here somewhere backfilling. So before I screw up and kill her, that's backfill with nectar. So let's just go ahead and get out of here. I mean, the only concern is that she's not in here, but that's a bigger problem. I'll know that for sure next time. This thing's so full of bees. This wasn't my strongest hive by far, and it's so full of bees already. Get my brush. All right, girls, I need you to get back in the hive so I don't kill half of you. Come on. All right, good enough. Whoa. Tore my jacket. Queen excluder back on. Drop this box back on. Let's see. Did I have traps in there? I didn't. I need to. That one's gross, but it's available. I'm concerned as much up here. Man. Good thing is it's really cold, but there's a hell of a lot of bees, so it's going to be really cold, and but there's a lot of bees up here, so that should help with that problem. Sticky boxes. I may. Well, I'm done. I'm not getting around with this one too much. So, yeah. Yeah, we're done. Inner cover. Peace out. That was a lot. That was a whole lot. The Demaree at work does take a lot of work, but if I don't swarm and I don't have to split to have too many get off of their hives, then mission accomplished. All right, that's it. GoPro, stop recording. GoPro, stop recording. All right, next is another new queen box. Hopefully these girls haven't filled up the damn top like the other one did with burr comb, but judging by the stickiness, they may have. Jerks. Let's get some smoke in there because they've been a little angry today. And I want to make sure I get the queen pushed down and out of the way. I want her accidentally up here and me smash her. $35 down the drain. And more importantly, I don't have a queen. All right, frame holder. Tool. I don't know why I don't do that. Turn that the other way. Okay, so what are we doing here? Oh, realistically, I just need to get into the other box, which means I need to move this out of the way. This one has a bunch of drawn frames, so if I see they're kind of out of room, I want to go ahead and put the super on. Well, I don't know if I can really do much in the way of frame manipulation, but I may throw some supers, empty supers. Son of a bitch. Queen emergency cell. Or, yeah. I must have just missed that last time. Here's another one. Again, unless they made them crazy fast after they were queenless for 24 hours, so roughly. I can make you girls mad so I can see the frames. So, yeah, I'll have to do a more in-depth check on this than why probably, but nope. Nectar. Maybe, no, there's some larvae there, so. But that could just be the old queen. Ton of cat brood here. Some larvae, so again, that was probably the old queen. Well, definitely was the old queen. It hasn't been enough time for, well, just barely enough time for larvae. I don't know why I'm taking all these out. So, realistically here, I'm just making sure I don't have any wonkiness, and then we'll get into the bottom box where hopefully she's at, and she is cranking out some eggs. Oh, they tore out a queen cell. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. Ah, sorry, baby girl. So that's a good sign, actually. If they tore one out, that means they were like, nope, we got a mama. We don't need that one anymore. The one thing is, it looks like I missed it. It was completely capped. So that's, yeah, next time I do a split, well, first of all, well, this year was wonky just because it got so much warmer, so much faster. I may have to go. Last year I went too soon, which would have been the right time this year. This year I went maybe too late, which would have been right. So, all right, get that out there. Another emergency cell. Again, not capped, so I'm not crazy worried, but the fact that there's so many of those is a little disconcerting. That means they were in full prep mode after I pulled the queen. This one, I never found the queen. I just had to assume she was in the bees I took to John's because, oh, shit. Because I did the shakedown, which, man, that's not fun. Do not recommend. 0 stars. Just unfun to have to shake multiple boxes of bees into one box because they aren't real appreciative of that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, most of these are drawn frames, and if it's drawn in the bottom, they may actually be, let me run out of space. So well, none of these aren't drawn out, so maybe I'll just, problem is, a lot of those will hatch before she has eggs hatch, so maybe not. I may put the queen excluder on and throw it up just to give them room to do something, but I gotta get this wonky comb out of here. I hate this because it ends up being spots where bees can hide, and you can smash bees because they're hiding. Yeah. All right, so let's see. We're gonna chickaberry it a little bit just to see if we can get some of this drawn out better. Put that there. These are all honey, so it's not like I got to worry too much about. Well, that's a little bit of brood on it. Let's see if I can find one that's not, that's all food. That's on. It's got a little bit of drone brood, but I'm not. Any larvae in there? No, that's all resources. So stick that on the edge and see if I can. I just hate when you put those empty frames to the end. They just sometimes just never draw them out. That happened on that hive last year. There were still frames that even this spring that they hadn't drawn out from last year because of that, which is really annoying. All right, there's tons of brood on here, so we'll make sure to put this back in there. That's good. Tons of brood and resource. Weird that, unless that's just how I stacked them last time. Probably screwed up the order of things, but all the brood's together. It's not probably where they had it originally, but it's all together here. When all that pops, we're good to go anyway. All right, so here, just need to get in the bottom, see if I can see eggs. I mean, technically it could be a larva. Should have been laying immediately, but see if I can see eggs or really small larvae. Damn it. I hate that. Shove it in there and kill a bunch of bees. Smoker. Finally got that going. The problem is that the fuel I had from last time was overburnt and just wouldn't stay going. It was just basically super charcoal, so I'm going to stop doing that. Just put new fuel in every time. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Bunch of dead drones here, or not a bunch, but several. So, all right, let's see if we can find. This had more drawn frames on it, or a couple more at least. So, I see that the one I pick up isn't. A little bit of drawn here, but that's all resources. Got to put the frame rest. I see all the, all the YouTube guys, well, everybody. They don't use this frame rest, but I like it because I am clumsy, and if I set something down, I'll probably step on it. So I should name my page The Clumsy Beekeeper. Not enough drawn out there to matter to see what she's doing. Yeah, I had fewer drawn out frames here than I thought in this box. I thought I had more. Maybe those went to John's. Again, drawn out, but I don't see any. Look out. Yeah, I know you hate it. I don't see any eggs there. Of course, I'm not close enough to the middle yet. Probably. Yeah, not enough drawn out, so next frame's got a little bit of drawn on it. So probably going too fast here and risking smashing her, but all right, this has got more drawn out. They put nectar in it, you big dummies. So she may have been laying on the top side. You know, I just realized I hadn't checked to see if she's actually out of the freaking thing until, oh wait. No, drones. Like I thought I saw her, but see if she's move so I don't squish you when I set it down. Make sure she's out of the cage. Clearly, she is. So she's in here somewhere, maybe. Let's keep looking for eggs. A little bit more, but not a ton more, because I feel like I'm they do harm more than good, do more harm than good phase. Yeah, these aren't drawn out enough to. Thought I had more drawn out frames in this box. Thought I had checkerboarded some, but maybe not. This one's heavy, so it's clearly drawn somewhat. Oh, there's bird everywhere. That's the old box then. It's from the old queen. All right, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna get out of here. She's out of the cage. Got rid of. Yeah, she's out of the cage. I mean, if in a week's time, actually, let me go one more. In a week's time, they haven't done anything, then I'll be worried. But because this next one has a ton of freshly drawn combs, that may be where she's hiding out. What? Nope, that's got too heavy. It's got resources in it. That's wild. I don't see anything in terms of eggs or larvae. Well, thought maybe she just laid in the top and I missed it because I was not looking for that. Yeah, well, like I said, now we're at the leave them alone phase. So move all these at once. It's got to be safer. They're starting to get hot around my face. Yeah, she may have. Well, she may have laid up there and I just missed it. All right, traps, and then move dummy, move dummy, move dummy. They're fascinating creatures, but sometimes they're just dumb and annoying, especially when they won't move. Don't you know? Oh, that's so heavy. Let's see if we can do this without. Trying to see if I can not smash bees, but that's always a challenge. All right. Smash some drones. Definitely not concerned about that. Smashed the head off of that one. All right, so they still have plenty of stuff to draw out. So even if they're not pulling, she's not laying yet. She's got time, and she's out of the box. And I didn't see any capped queen cells and other weird stuff like that. So unless I just killed her, which is not a zero possibility, she's in there somewhere. GoPro, stop recording. Actually, you know what? Don't stay recording because I'm an idiot and forgot to put the feeder on. Burr. You know, I put a little bleach and other stuff in this, and it's still getting a little mold, which is annoying. All right, means they're not taking it as much as I'd hoped. All right, gals, you can't be there because there's a feeder there. All right. Boink, go away, drone. All right. GoPro, stop recording. All right, last one, thankfully. I'm killed. Tell you what, they're as active as that other one is. I'm going to give these guys a little bit of smoke before I hop in there. This is Nikki Swarm. I'm wondering, again, queen cells cut out. What else? All the way to the bottom. I'm probably going to do that on this one after not seeing anything over there. Again, famous last words, but primary concern is getting the swarm cells cut out that should be up here. This one didn't have a ton or maybe any swarm cells even before I did the Demaree, but again, now that we see how many are popping up everywhere else, everybody stop. It was just a matter of time. So, and if I was doing it all, I was going to do it all at once. Stupid dog. Best guard dog ever. Most annoying guard dog ever. All right. Yeah. One thing about the Demaree, this shit's tall. This is kind of a pain in the ass. Normally, I like having the stands this high, but when it's this high and you're already up. All right, so I gotta check these good. This is all the old brood from the lower, was in the lower. Did I checkerboard that? I shouldn't have checkerboarded that. I need to fix that. I'm not checking for queen cells good enough here. That brood frame was on the outside wall, which is weird. I don't know why I did that. Rebay, it just got caught up in the whole thing and screwed that up. Larva, obviously, but I could see eggs if I had to. Good thing is I don't, well, always I speak it too soon. Queen cell, or bird stick up. Queen cell, yeah. Swarm cell. There we go. Get it right in a minute. So these gals do think they've swarmed, assuming I don't see eggs. Or so none over there. All right. Yeah, I need to just make sure to set that brood back in here somewhere, especially with the cold weather coming. Otherwise, I'll lose that. The brood that's on there is another. So again, older larva, which is to be expected. Backfilling a little bit with nectar. It is wild that some of this nectar looks brand new, so they're bringing it up here from down there, from inside. Well, I guess they can come in the top, never mind, but still. You're treating this like it's a whole nother hive, which is the point, but it's kind of wild to see. All right. Oh, this is crowded. Let me see if I mean, when all this, probably a week or two, well, capped at 9, yeah, another week or so, all these hives are going to just explode with bees. I mean, they have to. There's so much capped brood in all of them. And just absolutely have to. All right. Again, none of swarm cells is, well, I mean, this one was slower than the others. Swarm tendency, slower than all the others. Went into the winter maybe a little weaker than the others. I mean, it was super strong and then seemed to taper off pretty hard there towards the end of the summer. I don't know if the queen just slowed down. That's obviously a queen that has no provenance other than I caught her out of a tree, but all right, we're going to check all these one more time just because, again, I can't screw up the queen cell part here. I mean, I can, then I just lose the hive. So, still wild that the other one had that wonky. What's going on? I have to look that up. Make sure I get that queen cell there completely. Again, I don't see any, not that I would see eggs, but like there's hardly any larvae up here, so they've capped off what was uncapped for the most part in the last week, which makes sense. And then, like I said, all this will explode, and they're backfilling with nectar, which sometimes is a sign of swarming, but not when it's Demaree, hopefully. All right. I need to grab that. Check this one, and then I need to grab that one that's brood and put it next to this brood because I don't need to have those. Where is it? No? Where is it? There it is. Yeah, it needs to go more internal than it was. I don't know. I clearly just screwed it up when I was putting frames back in. Oh, there's another one. Damn it. It's so easy to miss. That's on almost a completely new frame. Still. Let me this last frame again since I clearly missed one already. That's the thing is with this method is like you miss one queen cup and you are SOL, because then you'll have. I wonder what they would do. Would they just make a new queen up here? I need to look that up. What would they do? Because they would have a queen up here, have a queen down there, and queen in between. I don't know. I mean, maybe you just have a 2-queen hive. It would be mother-daughter, obviously. Assuming she went out and got mated. Alright, Smoky. Shit. They love that. It's kind of ironic. You smoke them to calm them down or whatever, but I don't think it's the calming effect that I'm gonna just do a box tilt on this because I don't see anything, because this didn't have nearly as many as much stuff in it. Makes me wonder if I should do something with those other. Well, that's all right. I'm gonna do a sideways box tilt because I don't know why I haven't thought of that before. Don't see anything, but again, this didn't have a ton on it. There's 1 or 2 frames there that have a decent amount of stuff on it. So let me just pull those real quick and see what I can see. Yeah, just all resources. No swarmies. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's just get these back together. That next box I don't think has much of anything in it, so I may not do anything. Oh no, I was wrong. I'm an idiot. That was the previous super that I'd put on before. I don't know. That was where I brought stuff down. It's like I forgot what I did 5 days ago, which is why I video everything, because I don't remember shit. First, I forgot to review my notes because I was in a hurry. Alright. To check. Shouldn't be, again, queen cells here because, famous last words, because she's right below them. So they shouldn't feel that tendency unless it's just really running out of space. That's always a possibility. No. No, obviously. What is that? Oh, it's a piece of trash or something from last time. Oh, nectar. Soon to be honey, honey, honey. If this works. Banger crop. Banger. Go through these quickly. Yeah, it's awesome nectar. It's heavy as piss. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, this is where I took some of the super frames that were growing. Not going to be anything else last one. At this point, I've looked at every frame, and that had wonky comb on it before, which has a tendency to egg them on. Big dogs woo-wooing in the background. Burr comb at the bottom's keeping this freaking frames from sitting right. Sorry. Patch that hole there, not eventually, obviously. All right, since we're here and it's not dark yet, I'm going to glance in there to make sure. I may just do a box tilt on that one to see, rather than try to pull frames and see. I'll even leave the queen excluder on and see if we've got queen cups. Again, I can't imagine we would because they have plenty of room for all the gajillion bees that have gone up top. You know, but safe and sorry, I guess. Of course, I could also kill the queen by doing this, so maybe not safe and sorry. Oh, I can't see shit anyway. There's a gajillion bees on there, so that ain't gonna work. Unless, what are we gonna do? What are we going to do? Is it worth pulling frames? I don't think so. I think I'm risking more harm than good, but again, it's the only thing I haven't done here, so if I don't do it, then it's the only thing I'll think about tonight. Of course, if I kill the queen, I'll think about that too, but later. All right, my camera crapped out for a second for some reason. The little auxiliary battery must have not been running the entire time after I did want to pause this. Again, we're going to do a super quick check here and make sure I don't see any swarm cells. I don't think I'm going to, but I'm also just going to, so I feel warmer and fuzzier about it. This one had all the weird burr comb on the bottom, so it's probably the least likely of that to do it, but those are what we call famous last words. Try to get to some brood over here somewhere. So many freaking bees. Bad thing about smoking them down is nearly everybody's in this bottom box. Okay, there's the next one as well. So let's pull this center frame. See what we can see. Move, dummy. Oh, that's all that wonky comb from. Oh, there's queen cells on it. Son of a bitch. Are those queen cells or is that just weird brood comb? Well, either way, it's coming off because I can't risk it. Which means now I got to check more of those than I planned. Hopefully the queen's not on this frame. There's brood in there, so that's not so. All right, I don't want to hang that one out. Just have to come back to it. Let's check more frames then, because it's hard to tell because that was such wonky comb if those were drone or queen cups. But I mean, can't risk it being queen cups. Actually, while I'm doing this, I left this on because it didn't matter. But now that they can just turn that into queen cups, it matters more. Gonna be in here way longer than I wanted to be and should be, but that's part of the course today. All right. Looks like it's mostly just wonky, so it hopefully was just should have cleaned these off earlier in the year. Hopefully it was just man, I'm being way too sloppy here. Drone brood is what I was starting to say and couldn't get my thoughts because there's currently a million bees trying to kill me. That looks gorgeous. Let's just make sure there's no. Next one's the one already cleared, so I'm not going to clear it again. Yeah, man, some of these are stuck, I think. No funkiness on the bottom, so I'll put that one back in. Oh, that's got a ton of that on it, so. And again, some of the, well, that's definitely a queen cup. You dummies didn't put any queen cups up the top forever, and now you're putting them down here. Jerks. Clearly a bunch of that's drone brood, but it's got to go. Cannot, I mean, if I left those, they straight up would swarm, which would be annoying. Swarming with in the bottom with a Demaree. Odds of me not fat fisting and smashing the queen are greatly going up. Hope no one actually watches all these other than me, because it would be okay, tons more. Before they weren't doing hardly anything with that, but now they're clearly are. Move, dummies. Makes me worry worried that the queen is over here because it's getting very crowded over here. Of course, they may just be trying to get away from me. God damn it, that hurt. You got me. All right, time for smoke. I must be getting near. Oh, get me again. Or you're just tired of me being in the hive. I can understand both. Oh, that's blowing too hot. Whew. All right, 2 more frames and I gotta get the hell out of here before I probably kill the queen. Ugh. If I haven't already, so. Almost to the point where I'm thinking this would be easier if I just replaced my queen every year and moved on. Not anymore. Move. Can't even. I smashed it. Shit out of you, didn't I? That's the price of doing business. All right, last frame. For all the good reasons that I gotta get out of here. And of course, there's tons of wonkiness on the bottom of it. Some of those may have just been old queen cups, but just can't risk it. All right, let's get the beep out of here. Tell you what, I'm just gonna stuff this one back in this side because it is not worth trying to move all those frames back after that. Because it'll get me out of the hive much faster. Let's see if I can at least get these back tighter. Yeah, they're angry, and I don't blame them. I'm angry at me. All right, girls. All right, let's get out here. Good news, we've got all the queen cells out, I think. Bad news is I probably just killed her somewhere in there because that was a lot of work. That was a lot of manipulation. Too much. Traps. Definitely down here. This is the one I forgot to put the traps in back in last time, so. Of course, they've put propolis in some of the holes, which is always awesome. Okay. I'd be so annoyed if kill the queen, worst case, but secondly, just nothing else, let her get up here, which would be really annoying. Oh, that was crunch. I don't like that sound. Okay. Again, got a million bees, which is a good problem to have, but also a tight rope to walk. Quit putting those traps up here just because I've got it, and might as well. Ooh, don't want to have it fall. Okay, let's see if we can. I'm just gonna peek me with these to make sure I'm not doing something stupid like the queen's in there. I would have had to knock her out of the hive, but it's not an impossibility. All right, let's get out of here before I do any more damage. They're currently trying to kill me anyway. In their defense, I killed a bunch of them, so. Hear people talk about, not going super slow, not killing bees. I'm like, that sounds great in theory. Practice is a little harder. Take one up. Sweep these off onto this. All right, girls. GoPro, stop recording because